It's DTS 44. We've seen the Prison of Elders. It's 1 week until House of Wolves. Are you ready?
You're listening to Destiny the Show. Welcome, Guardians.
What is up, everybody? My name is BBKDRAGOON, here with Destiny the Show number 44. Joining me, as always, is the awesome Ditty. How are you doing today, good sir?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Oh, so ready, man. So excited to talk Prison of Elders. Played a bunch of Destiny this week. We are less than 2 weeks away. My excitement level is getting higher with every day.
We are a week away.
Yes,
sir.
Indeed. Well, recording time.
Okay. 10 days away.
Yeah. So we ended up doing Crota Zen on normal mode last night, as well as Vault of Glass normal mode. It was a great time. Thanks to Hayes, Snurv, Sassy, and Drew Pancaker, unsung hero for the run. I had a great time. We are sort of wrapping up what I feel like is the end of the Dark Below era. Are you ready for House of Wolves?
I'm ready. I have my black hammer now. I finally
yeah.
got the freaking black hammer in one of my Crota runs last week.
It's good.
So happy. I had 2 bounties that I was saving. I had 2 5,000 experience bounties that I had saved for House of Wolves, so I can just, try and hit that level 34 quick enough. But I just used it on the black hammer because I just wanted that white nail perk, and it was, I did my first strike. I did the Nexus strike, and I match made with 2 randoms, and after those 3 servitors, I just ran straight to the boss. And by the time my teammates had caught up to me, I had already killed the Nexus because of the Black Hammer. I love that gun.
That's exciting. And you got a Praetor's Revenge last night.
Finally. The 2 sniper rifles from the raids I didn't have, and I got them in the same week.
That's exciting indeed. I just want to start talking about Prison of Elders. We got to see the review stream or reveal stream, and I think it's a good time to discuss what's going on in Destiny and get people caught up, so that when Prisoner of Elders, Trials of Osiris, and House of Wolves arrives, they're ready to go. Let's hop into the news. All right, so the first news piece today is coming from PlanetDestiny.com, and it is the new vendor weapons. This includes the faction weapons that are coming in House of Wolves. I love data mining, and some of these weapons look gorgeous. We're just putting this article in here so that you can go check the link on destinytheshow.com and then look at these guns, man. Ditty, did you see the new Monarchy sniper?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's huge and amazing, and I want it because it looks so cool. There's a ton of new weapon models that just look really, really cool. And the best part about all of these vendor weapons, if you don't like the stats, you're going to be able to re-roll them with the gunsmith.
We're getting to a point with Destiny where I feel like it's clicking. If you like the way that gun looks, but its stats aren't quite where you want it, re-roll it. That gunsmith is now a person that we're going to actually use. The Crucible Quartermaster weapons look great. The new auto rifle frame, that kind of looks a lot like the BR from Halo, don't you think?
Halo 4, yep.
Oh, man, it's looking very nice. I know for me that new Monarchy sniper rifle has got my eye, as well as the scout rifle for Dead Orbit just looks insane. So definitely check out this article. Short and sweet, that's all I really have to say here. Okay, updated Vault of Glass screenshot was shown in that longer form House of Wolves total trailer. Like, what would you call that trailer? It came out like the day after or Friday.
Was like, it's like the official House of Wolves reveal trailer.
Yes, exactly. And there's a photo in it of, well, Vault of Glass. Only there's a change here. There's 3 Guardians playing in Vault of Glass where the Oracle fight is. I mean, isn't that what that arena is called, the very first fight that we do?
Yeah, it's Templar's Well.
There we go. But the interesting thing here is 3, not 6. You need 6 to activate the doorway. Well, do you need 6 to get into the doorway? You could do it with 3.
You can do it by yourself.
Can you? If you keep everybody off, right? Still, it's got to be hard to do it by yourself, yeah?
There are ways to do it solo.
Yes. Well, I know how to get through the door, but I mean,
I don't know if they've patched it, but you can like leave the area and the spire can form while you're in a different area, and then you can come back and you can just walk through the door.
Okay. Well, that's not the biggest difference here with the screenshot. The guy's using the cannon. What is it called?
It's like the Fallen Scorch cannon thing. It's basically the relic of this DLC, Vanilla Destiny, we had the Relic Shield from Vault of Glass. Dark Below, we have the sword from Crota's End. This is like the Scorch Cannon or something.
Yeah, you've probably seen a screenshot of this if you are sort of a Destiny fan, and it's this third-person shot. Every time you pick it up, goes third person like a sword. Over the shoulder, large cannon, you fire the missile, and the longer you hold down the trigger, it's like a timer. You can hear it beeping up, beep, 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 and then the longer you wait, the more damage it does. And it's now inside Vault of Glass. So the question is this a new mission? Is this something that they're going to make story content for House of Wolves so players can actually get acquainted with the Vault of Glass area? Because we know less than 20% of players have done a raid, which scares me, but I'm leaning towards it being a story mission. Or are they updating Vault of Glass with this cannon and the ability to run it with less people? Thoughts, Ditty?
I don't think they're updating Vault of Glass. It would make sense that it's a story mission utilizing the Vault of Glass space, because one of the theories floating around the internet right now is that because the Fallen are scavengers, they're like pirates, right?
Yeah.
In terms of the story mode, at this point, the Guardians have already beaten Vault of Glass, and so like it's already open to anyone. And so the Fallen have entered this area and they're trying to scavenge whatever they can. So that's why the Fallen are in this environment that we've already been to in terms of story missions. So
they're looking for Chatterwhite.
Yeah, exactly. They're looking for Chatterwhite and Fatebringers because, we love Fatebringer.
Indeed. It's cool as well. IGN confirmed that exotics that you get during the raid, if they drop, of course, which happens all the time, as we know, will now be 365 attack, which is cool. Super duper cool. All right, the new exotic that was also shown here was the Dreg's Promise, and it is a sidearm. Ditty, do you want to explain what a sidearm is?
It's a hand cannon or not a hand cannon, it's a pistol that goes into your secondary special weapon slot, basically.
Mm-hmm. Uses green ammo, and it fills the role we think of between shotgun and fusion rifle. They're high rate of fire, but super low impact. So maybe full auto?
Yeah, it reminds me. I haven't seen any gameplay of it, and maybe it's floating around, but it seems like it would be, now that I look at it, what if it's a needler?
Oh, it does look like a needler with the shots on the top, like if those actually went down when you fired it.
Yeah, it's like either a needler or like a machine pistol from one of the Call of Duty games. It's going to be...
Brute shot?
It does, I doubt that. It does have a pretty high stability, so, it's going to be somewhat stable, I guess, once you hold down that trigger. But the high rate of fire makes me think that it's going to be full auto.
The Fallen exotic shotgun looks so nasty.
That looks awesome. There was a gameplay, very brief clip of it in that reveal trailer as well. I really liked how it fired.
Yeah. So new sidearms, and there's a queen sidearm as well, I think, and that's just a legendary. It's not an exotic weapon. So check out the article. It is on our website, destinytheshow.com. I think it's time to talk about Prison of Elders. So the stream for Prison of Elders was the last big reveal stream from Bungie. Are we getting one this Wednesday, Ditty, or is that it?
No, I think that's it. They're taking a week off to let the hype settle, and then it happens.
And then it happens. I do want to say up front, if anybody from the production team, Deej, or the community staff at Bungie are listening, a massive thank you to you for your hard work.
Absolutely.
This was an incredible thing for Destiny fans, for Destiny news sources, podcasts, content creators, to bring in people like Gathalion, Broman, Triple Rec, and the whole crew that eventually brought us a lot of the YouTube footage from the House of Wolves pre-reveal stuff. Much appreciated. I can't thank you enough. This is cool, and I hope this becomes the precedent for Destiny in the future. I think a huge criticism with the game from the get-go was that the marketing didn't communicate what Destiny really was. Part of that's because Destiny's always changing, blah, 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 the company line. But if they continue this style of communication, fans have a really good idea of what they're getting with House of Wolves, which we didn't with Dark Below. We were relying on data mining, and now I think we've set a good precedent. I hope they keep it up. End of my story. Prison of Elders, Ditty, what is it? What's the basic rundown? How does it operate?
Prison of Elders is a 3-man strike-ish type game type. It's an arena game type. That's what it is.
Yes.
We thought that the Prison of Elders and the arena were going to be different. No, it's just that the Prison of Elders is classified as an arena game type. And so what happens is you have 5 rounds of 3 waves each, and it's basically horde mode. You go into round 1, you have to fight off 3 waves of enemies. Maybe there's an objective, maybe there's objectives you have to capture, like what are they?
Capture mines, capture mines or disarm mines, I think were the 2 objectives that we saw in the stream, right?
Right, exactly. Or maybe a VIP shows up in one of the rounds, and then the final 2 rounds of the Prison of Elders arena experience, they're going to have mini strike bosses.
Yep, and these guys, little changes, right?
Yeah, so they're going to be different depending on, which Prison of Elders queue that you'll pick, which we'll talk about in a minute. And they're going to be they have a little bit more health than strike bosses, but they're roughly the same difficulty to kill.
Exactly. And Prison of Elders is something that is going to open up when you have completed the House of Wolves story content. And this is something that in your director, you'll go to the Reef, and then you'll be able to select Prison of Elders. And the hub will show you a level 28 version, a level 30, 32, and 34 version, and then a level 35 version. Was that correct, or is it just 32, 34, 35?
I think it's just 32, 34,
You're right.
35.
Yeah, so nix what I said, level 28, 32, 34, 35. The level 28 version of Prison of Elders is match-made capable. You can click it. It will match-make you with 2 other players in the Destiny universe, and you can go and enjoy the Prison of Elders, and then, yay, good. Rinse and repeat.
It's basically the Rock Strike playlist of House of Wolves DLC.
Indeed. And the 32, level 34, and level 35 versions are not match-made. You will need pre-made teams. You'll need friends, because this is going to push the PvE endgame content players to their absolute limit. Now, 5 rounds in total, right, Ditty? What can we expect within these rounds? You said 3 waves. How does that really work?
Well, before we get into that, I will say that they did confirm you can solo the 32, 34, and 35 arenas.
If somebody solos 35, they're putting the controller down.
They're going to. People solo hard mode Crota all the time, and they're
But this is harder.
So, repeat your question. I just had to clarify that.
Well, I just want to give a little bit more clarification. Well, I guess it's kind of confusing. So, they're curated experiences. These are not totally random, and I believe they said they have 5 different Prison of Elders curated experiences that will rotate around on a different weekly basis. Is that correct?
Yes. So the way I think of it as the different game types in Destiny are story missions, strikes, raids, and now we have arenas, and that's what the Prison of Elders holds. So the level 28 Prison of Elders arena playlist is going to have all 5 of those arenas available to play.
And it will rotate on a weekly, on the weekly reset.
Exactly. And so the level 32 and the level 34 arenas are going to be the same arena for 1 week.
And then they'll rotate. Now, you didn't include level 35. Why is that?
Because I think they confirmed that the level 35 arena, Skolas's Revenge, is a static arena. It's going to be the same one every single time. So that's basically that's your raid endgame experience, except it's 3-man.
Indeed. And when we actually look at the level 35 description tab in the director, here's what the rewards say. House of Judgment plus 500 reputation with the House of Judgment, which is the fallen vendor in the Reef social space. You receive an armor core, a weapon core, and etheric light. Now, Ditty, have we talked about armor or weapon cores yet?
I don't believe so. We've briefly mentioned it once they were revealed in that first stream, but I don't think we've explained exactly what they are.
And we've talked a lot about etheric light, which is the new material you're going to need to ascend your gear. I can't remember what other role does it fill. Is it like a purchasable, or is it just purely for ascension?
I think it's purely for ascension, and I don't know if we'll be able to purchase it or not. I know it's dropped from endgame content, such as the Nightfall, the arenas, and Trials of Osiris, all that other end game content, but I don't know if we'll be able to purchase it.
I don't think so, because I looked at the conversion chart earlier this week of like, you can take a shard to energy, or, like that's a big conversion chart of stuff. It didn't look like you could purchase it, and I remember that would sort of defeat a lot of the purpose, because everybody with Motes of Light day one.
It would be way too easy then.
Yeah, exactly. And real quickly, the rewards for the level 28 version, which we're all going to be running. This is like the new Rock Strike. House of Judgment Rep, a Cryptarch Engram, Vanguard Marks 6, which is a nice little upgrade from the 4 that we get from Rock Strikes, and then Vanguard Reputation of 25. Okay, so I think we did a decent job of explaining how the rotating stuff works, but how does the actual game mode work? What happens when you're in there?
So once we launch into the Prison of Elders, you'll select, let's say we select level 32, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be a specific arena. It's going to be the same 5 waves every single time we play that for the whole week. And we launch in. First round starts, you receive a modifier for that round. Now, some of them are going to be new. Some of them are going to be the same as, all the Nightfall modifiers. Sometimes it might be Arc Burn, Juggler, Light Switch, whatever, but there are a few new modifiers, and I want to describe them. So, Small Arms modifier, primary weapon damage is doubled, so that's nice. Exposure, Guardian shields are increased but do not replenish. And this one actually popped up in the reveal stream. It's something like a 10,000% shield buff.
Jeez.
It's massive.
Yeah.
It's a very large shield, but it just dwindles.
You need to pay attention over the course of the wave.
Yeah, exactly. The next one is grounded. Players take more damage while airborne, so be careful with those jumps. Brawler, guardian melee damage is increased by 300%. This one's interesting because as a hunter gunslinger, I wonder if my throwing knife will be included in that.
Oh yeah.
Catapult, grenade recharge speed is greatly increased. As someone who runs a 100% disciplined build, that's going to be fun. Catapult, I already said that one. Trickle, abilities charge significantly slower. That's not going to be very fun. Specialist, special weapon damage is doubled. That one's speculated because we haven't seen that one yet. Airborne, players deal more damage while in the air. And so those are the new modifiers, at least the ones that we know of. I believe that's it, though. But that's going to be fun. I'm excited.
Exciting. And those, I'm going to speculate here, hopefully those can transfer into some other game modes. Maybe Nightfalls get really creative in the future. But
man,
again, speculation.
Yes.
Total
Small
speculation.
arms with like arc damage. That would be amazing.
And the different rooms are Fallen themed, Cabal themed, Vex themed, and whatever theme that room is you're fighting in is the type of enemy you're going to be facing, correct?
Exactly. Each round of the Prison of Elders arena can be a different enemy type. So the first room, all those 3 waves, it's going to be Hive, right? Round 2, second room, all those 3 waves, they could be Vex. It could be whatever, because the Prison of Elders holds all enemies of the Awoken.
During the experience on the stream, we saw these mines that if players stepped on it and triggered it, it did this really big slow. It was like a DOT. It's like a Nova Bomb went off, okay? Instead of doing damage, it slowed the Guardians down, right?
It was basically a wizard's poison shroud that does not damage you.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then there were objectives that were shown during the stream where they needed to disarm mines, which like a few mines would show up, and while they're facing a ton of enemies that are dealing a bunch of damage, they have to actually work their way to the mine, stand at a little control point below the mine, and then hopefully disarm it if they stand at that control point during the time. There were VIPs where they needed to take out these, just like the bounty kind of, you need to take out a certain enemy before the timer expired. Looked really cool, right?
Yep.
Other than that, they didn't get through it. It was Deej, was it Matt Simmons? Was that his name?
Matt Simmons or Samons?
Yes.
Or Samson.
He was the lead on House of Wolves, and Professor Broman, who pretty much everybody knows from Twitch. They were playing the level 34 version of Prison of Elders, and they spent an hour and a half, and they ended up getting to round 4, right?
Yeah, I think they... I don't even think they beat round 3, because we didn't see any boss levels. We didn't see any boss waves.
Oh, yeah, I think you were right. And it looked difficult. It really did look difficult. And so when we talk about level 35, we've not seen it, and I'm very excited. And overall, I think we've covered just about everything that we've been shown, right?
I want to go back. I think we actually kind of glossed over what weapon cores and armor cores actually do.
Yeah, go for it.
They are consumables, or I guess they're currency that you turn in to the House of Judgment vendor for Prison of Elders gear.
So the 2 final boss waves, how do those work when you get to round 4 and then round 5? And this is excluding the level 35 version.
Right, exactly. So the level 30, I guess any other arena that you get thrown into, the last two waves, or the last two rounds, excuse me, are going to be boss waves. And so when you enter that room, round 4, there's going to be like a strike boss that enters in the room. So basically, remember the Archon Priest strike. You know, a lot of you are familiar with that because it's been Nightfall. You know, you've played that over and over again. So the Archon Priest final area, that's what it's going to be. You know, you're going to enter into that room. There's going to be waves of enemies as you're trying to fight this strike boss, and it's going to be pretty intense.
Yep, and enemies are continually spawning you as like you're getting rushed down. At least that's the description we had when round 4 was played by some of the YouTubers. And then our final like close here is like the level 35 version is supposed to have 5 rounds, and then you fight the boss, right?
Yeah, so it's speculated to be the normal 3 rounds, 2 boss rounds, and then a final Skolas fight. So basically 6 rounds of Prison of Elders.
This stream, they really left things up to, I don't know, a mystery, okay? We didn't actually get a Q&A. We didn't really get many questions asked by Broman. They didn't, like Trials of Osiris stream, they played the mode, and then the designer basically gave you all the info you would want. Okay, this is how it's going to be. This is how all this is going to work. We didn't really get that with Prison of Elders. We saw the experience, they tried, it was difficult, and then they just concluded the stream. So how will loot work, Ditty? Or at least what do we know?
So if you're familiar with the raid experience, after every encounter, you get a loot drop. That's not the case with Prison of Elders. You don't get a loot reward after every round. Loot is rewarded at the end of 5 rounds of Prison of Elders. So once you complete that arena, that's when you get the rewards, just like a strike. You have to beat the whole thing to get that loot.
And weapon and armor cores you get from doing the activity. So, or at least on the higher. Let me look at the real quickly. I want to double check because I don't think you get, level 28 version, you're not going to be getting weapon and armor cores. So if you are going to grind, guaranteed, yes.
Right.
Could drop. But
you might get an RNG drop, but it's guaranteed in the level 32, 34, and 35 arenas.
Which are not match made. And then there are no checkpoints. That's what we got to say here. So if you're halfway through and you need to go, it's not like you can come back like a raid. It just doesn't work that way.
So in the stream, they got almost all the way through to round 3. If they put the controller down, waited a few days, they would have to start over at round 1. They could not start over at round 3 again and continue on.
I think that's right. That's definitely seems appropriate. And I think this brings us to a good topic.
Salvaged relic data is now decrypted, out of consequence.
Evening, Guardian. Earn your honor, Guardian.
Titan survey data requested by Vanguard.
Now that we know what Prison of Elders is, will Prison of Elders be enough for endgame PvE content? Can it fill the gap of no raid at launch within House of Wolves? And Ditty, I'm just going to throw the ball to you right away. Do you think Prison of Elders has enough meat and enough legs on it to be acceptable? Or to be, I guess, filling the role of a raid, or what we've gotten used to with Destiny expansions?
I'm going to say yes and no.
Okay.
Because Prison of Elders has way more replayability than the raid, in my opinion. Because once you beat the raid for the week, you're not going to get loot until the next week, right?
Yeah. With
Prison of Elders, I have multiple modes in which to get loot from. And I have 3 or 4 chances, 3 chances on one character to do Prison of Elders a week. So I have level 32, level 34, and level 35, one character. And I can switch characters, and I can do that. I can do Prison of Elders 9 times and get 9 times the loot from a single game mode, essentially.
Yep.
And the replayability is insane there because, each time you walk in, it's going to be a different modifier. It's going to be different enemies, I know there's 5 arenas on rotation, and we're eventually going to develop strategies for each arena, but it's going to be different every time, I'm not going to get, for Nightfalls, I'm not going to get, for example, this is just what happened. We had Archon Priest, Rainbow Burn, then we had Omnigul, and then we had Archon Priest again, That's not going to happen with Prison of Elders, very often. It's going to be on a nice rotational playlist. But then again, I'm going to say no, because raids are just a hugely immersive experience that you invest so much time and effort into that you're not really going to get with Prison of Elders. Prison of Elders is just horde mode. You're
Reskins.
defeating.
It's a lot of reskins.
Yeah, basically, it's just wave after wave of enemy. We're going to eventually get tired of it, like every content in every game ever, not just Destiny. And the raids, they're just longer, they're more in depth, and Prison of Elders isn't going to have that kind of depth, but the replayability is there.
Yeah. See, I'm going to take the positive team here because level 34 looked hard. I know level 35 is going to be hard. Yeah, we're going to figure out ways to do little cheeses and whatnot, but 3-man, I've been waiting for a 3-man activity because strikes are about as mindless as it gets, okay? It's like doing rock strikes, no challenge. You just go through it. I usually watch other things. I can't tell you the last time I just sat and did a rock strike without multitasking. Prison of Elders is going to fill that gap for me. Now, I agree. From the design perspective, you cannot beat the artwork, the intensity, and the level of epic that raids embody. I mean, doing Vault of Glass last night, that's my favorite place in the entire game. The artwork, just going from start to finish, is this great journey. Prison of Elders, we're going to see the same rooms a lot. We're going to see the same enemies a lot. And we're going to probably have things become, I dare, it will be repetitive, but the modifier's like, hey, the cannon could spawn this round. Or we got that modifier, no way. Or that VIP needs to get taken down now. It is going to be an experience that changes more often than the raid. The raid is pretty similar. They're two different things. I am disappointed that the bosses, well, we haven't seen them all. And we haven't played level 35. So I'm just talking pure speculation here. But the bosses, I'm going to assume, are reskinned versions of other enemies that we have fought before. And I don't think they're going to bring a whole lot new to the table. Like, oh, look out for that Cabal. He rips his arm off and throws it at you like a boomerang. That's not going to happen here.
That would be a hive spawn that does that. Come on.
That would, right? The hive form, like Ultron, they all like gather together and turn into
transformer.
Yeah. Oh, so many cool ideas. But old gen, I think old gen limits us here, okay? This is something, again, PS3, Xbox 360 still have to be able to play a lot of these experiences just as smoothly as we are playing them without the visual fidelity, right? Mm-hmm. Prison of Elders, with the time that they had since, they probably began production on House of Wolves, I think seems good. I will agree with you. It can't fill the role of a raid, but after what we saw, I think this is 100% a passable alternative, and I think this is something that's going to keep me very engaged for quite a while.
Yeah, and I think the addition of the arena modes increases Destiny's potential so much more because, the same way it increases Destiny's endgame content. It's with new DLCs coming out, with Comet, with the extra DLCs coming out later on in this 10-year cycle, we're going to have not just strikes, not just story missions, maybe not just raids, but arenas. They can add arena game modes. And once they finally ditch, I'm sorry, last gen consoles, but once they finally ditch that, maybe we can have that arena that, the Nexus mind spawns in the middle of, and he's changing the environment around us. He's deleting platforms that you're standing on. He's adding new floors of lava, like you were saying in the pre-show, just new environments just opening up around us because this generation of consoles definitely has, somewhat of that capability. And I cannot wait for 2 years down the road to see what kind of challenge modes that Bungie comes up with to add to Destiny.
Exactly. That's it. So think about Crucible, and we're getting Trials of Osiris, which is an extension and a refinement of the Crucible. We've seen Iron Banner be an extension and a refinement of the Crucible. Finally, we are getting the arena. Okay, we're calling it Prison of Elders because that fits with the lore, but this is an arena game mode, and like you say, over time, they're going to be able to add more arenas to what we have and refine those arenas. I'm very excited.
It came from Twitter!
Time for the part of the show where we read out your tweets. First up is Chiefs Diehard 86. Hey everyone at DTS, thank you for all the great news, thoughts, and entertainment. Possible topic, Xbox Live down yet again. It's always down, man, but thank you for the compliment. At Spud Deluxe, did some serious grinding and got Bad Juju to sit alongside my Red Death. Which do you feel is the better weapon? Ditty?
Bad Juju, all the way, every single time.
It's that reload, man. You can't beat it. It's just...
I mean, unless you're doing Crota hard mode, it's Bad Juju every single time.
Yeah, I love that gun. At Arthur V2706, do you guys have a clan? I really need a clan. We do have a clan. Where can they find it?
DestinyTheShow.com.
At Brendan Goforth, 1.1.2 for Destiny was a massive success. Love every new feature. I quite like it. Diddy, how you liking the changes?
Absolutely.
At Old Jake, 1422, good show. What the raids or strikes need are roles for the players, healer, DPS, and tank. Shout out to Butters.
Shout out to Butters.
At Fernando DH92, a great opening segment for this week's podcast, guys. Liked that you'll covered a bit of House of Wolves. Keep it awesome. All right, well, thank you. Sorry, I misread your tweet there. It was hard. At M Webster 1991, what are you guys on the show doing to prepare for House of Wolves? What are you doing, Diddy?
Well, I completed my goal of getting the Black Hammer, so I mean, I'm done. The last thing I'm gonna do is get all of my faction, Vanguard, Crucible, all those levels, reputation levels, right up to the level up point. So once I hit the House of Wolves, I can just do a patrol mission, get that next level, get that new House of Wolves faction package so I can get that new House of Wolves gear.
Yep, I'm stacking all my Vanguard and Crucible marks. I'm 200 on my Warlock. I'm almost 200 on my Titan. And then I'm also getting ready by stacking 5k experience bounties. Every day there are bounties that give you 5k experience. You can complete them but not turn them in. So I would do them, hold on to them so that, like Diddy's saying, when you get there, just start stacking the rep as quickly as you can.
Let's not forget, Vanguard and Crucible commendations are going to be able to be consumed with House of Wolves for extra faction reputation.
But wait for the Nightfall.
But wait for the Nightfall, because that's going to affect the reputation buffs.
Indeed. At Ramsey99, I really think Bungie may have gave us everything we really needed. Don't care that there isn't a raid anymore. Well, thank you for the tweet. At Sean Bartley, OMG, I need this helm. It's the new Warlock helm. Do you remember what it's called, Diddy?
The Ram.
Oh, it looks so good. It's like that Ram helm. At BTM Dreadnought, a good friend of mine was on the enemy team in the gameplay of your latest podcast video. Does that make him famous? I put my sunglasses on and say, oh yeah, it makes him super famous. We even gave him like 6,000 YouTube dollars after the game. It's what we do usually. So, at General Hayes, nothing better than gypped into an Iron Banner game on Venus over 3k down and came back to win by 1,000.
I think that's join in progress.
What did I say?
Gypped.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know the verb. We know the verb. We play Halo.
I've never heard it used as a verb.
Oh, bro. At EC Miller, I'm guessing arena challenges will act as bounties of sorts for the Prison of Elders.
Nope. We can't. We just covered that. Arena game types is what Prison of Elders is.
Yeah. At Eddie Holla, can you decrypt items after House of Wool drops to get new gear? Some friends believe so. Love the show, guys.
No. Nope. No. So the engrams and the faction packages that you get prior to House of Wolves will give you pre-House of Wolves gear regardless of when they're activated.
Get rid of them now. You heard it first. The effing monkey. I just want to let you know that I love your shows and they help me out each and every week. Thank you. And our last tweet is from The Aged Gamer. Enjoy listening to your show. What faction weapons should I buy before House of Wolves release? Greetings from Switzerland. Well, TF, the fall will probably kill you 1969. I hate saying that acronym. It's so hard to say. I really like that hand cannon. And Beeline Trauma, the scout rifle. They're both those weapons are from the Crucible Quartermaster. I love them. Diddy, what weapons?
LDR 5001 from the Vanguard and Secret Handshake from the Vanguard Quartermaster. Both of those weapons are absolutely amazing. The sniper rifle has armor-piercing rounds, and the Secret Handshake, I believe, has hammer forged and shot package, which is the shotgun combo of perks that you want.
I got an LDR this week in a random drop. I can't remember what the perks were, but I was a little bit excited.
Nice. So. I have two of them. The one I got in a drop has unflinching and what's it called? Final round. Nice. So that's nice. It's a good PvP sniper rifle.
Well, before we do these shout outs, next week's show is coming out one day early. It'll be out on iTunes, Podbean, and YouTube on Monday morning. And we're going to do this to give you all the last bits of information you need to know for when House of Wolves comes out, how you can enjoy day one to the maximum potential. So if you're a regular listener, we normally come out on Tuesday mornings, but it's happening on Monday. So set your clocks, put an alarm on, get hyped because we're almost there. Ditty, where can people find your content?
Well, since I'll be streaming on the Destiny the Show Twitch channel, it'll be twitch.tv/Destiny the Show. Once House of Wolves launches, I'll be streaming a lot that week, every single day, hopefully.
That is very exciting. And Twitter and YouTube?
Twitter.com/DittyDTS, DITTY-DTS, and YouTube.com/Wooshness, WOOOSHNESS.
Remember to head to destinytracker.com for a lot of stats, leaderboards, gear, forums, and a ton of things there. They have a top 5 plays series, so if you have an excellent play in Destiny or just a funny video worth sharing, submit it. We have a link to it on our website, but you can just go to destinytracker.com, one of the community's leading sites for stat tracking. Really nice guys. We enjoy them quite a bit. Head over to destinytheshow.com for all the links from today's show and more. You can follow us at Destiny the Show. You can follow me at BBKDRAGOON or on youtube.com/BBKDRAGOON. Have a great week, Guardians. Get ready, max those marks, and we'll see you before House of Wolves.